why should you be in a situation where you're told to be toxic in order to be successful? Now, I do agree that success is relative, but there's multiple successes. Like, I can be successful as a brother. I could be successful as an entrepreneur. I could be successful as a waiter. I could be successful in all these things, but you're telling me that in this one instance, whether it's wrestling or your real estate or whatever, if you want to be successful and get to the top, you have to be mean. I feel like the most successful situations arrive from cohesion and collaboration. And maybe it's because I'm an artist, because as an artist, I feel like you can't be mean and be an artist because nobody will want to work with you.
You can be mean. This is why I say that. The definition of mean is mean. You get me? You don't, mean is a medium, right?
My nigga.
Yes,
But for real.
absolutely.
Mean. So what I'm saying is there's certain,
You have to elaborate on that.
and I know millionaires personally. They have a mean that they deal with. If you go below their standard, they're going to cut you off.
That's not mean. That's
The definition of mean. That's exactly what it is.
to me. When I say mean for the purpose of this conversation, I'm talking about nasty, spiteful, venomous. You don't have to be that way.
No, you don't have to be that way,
Right.
but you definitely need to be as a matter of fact.
You need to have standards.
Some people will take that as mean, but okay, you got to also remember that we live in a capitalistic society.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, it is dog eat dog.
Mhm.
That's what it is. It's no way around it. So if you, imagine.
And there we have it.
I disagree. I feel like there's a lot of.
Does it have to be that way?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be mean to be.
in a capitalistic
DJ has something.
I
to
think
too disagree,
capitalism.
Mr. Moderator.
All right,
How the
y'all.
hell the moderator give his views before I get to speak?
Who's
Shit.
not the moderator?
Nigga, I
You
thought you was
did.
the moderator. God damn.
Yeah, he is. He's the host.
I'm
I
not.
know he hosted it. Said, "All right, actually, I got it a pre." I was like, "Well, damn." I was gonna answer and say, "Jesus, success, business." All right, here we go. I'll get to success later. I don't think you have to be cutthroat in order to be successful in business. Okay, I think there is a quality of toughness that has to come with running a business and owning things.
Yep.
In terms of being cutthroat, we know what cutthroat is. We've seen the archetype of the boss that is cutthroat. You're fired. They're mean.
We see him every day.
Every day on the TV.
Twitter. We see him every day on
But
Twitter.
yet he's got hotels.
Anybody
Before,
staying at his rinky-dink ass hotels?
Somebody's saying
this
it.
is the point.
Oh, well, no, maybe not right now, but
But what I'm saying is, yeah, he got hotels. That is his level of success. Whatever success means to him. If my success is I need to be mean to somebody else to get ahead, that is my success. But I do not. I consider myself to be successful. I am not mean. I'm not cutthroat. I help everybody out that I can, because people always say the same people you pass on the way up, you'll see on your way back down. So I try to keep it copacetic with everybody, especially working in art. Try to keep it cool with everyone, but you can still be tough and straightforward and say and know what you want without being cutthroat. Because if your shit don't float, everybody's gonna remember that you were an asshole, and they ain't nobody gonna fuck with you, cutthroat or not. You know what I'm saying? So I think success is internal. It is a personal definition of what will make you happy. I tell people to chase their happy whenever I can. I'm like, what do you want to do that would not make money? What makes you happy?
Mhm.
Because that people will pay you for.
Right.
People pay you to do anything you can make money off. I know this girl who made candles as a joke with Beyonce. You know those like Virgin Mary candles? She made those with like Beyonce on them, and now she has a business.
Of course, people are gonna buy those.
But now she does them with like Oprah and other people and shit like that.
Which is
So I'm saying, like, you got to define what success is for yourself first. Because no, you don't have to be cutthroat. If you want to be an asshole, that's a choice.
But EJ,
Talk
I
to me.
understand that, and I don't think Dure's asking that.
Hey, can y'all hold for a second? Hold for a second.
All right, so basically, when it comes, I think Duryea was saying not about the internal side of success. And I think he gets that point. I think he was talking about being on top, keyword. When you're on top, there is a level of cutthroatness or meanness that you must have. Let's look at
Cutthroat is cutthroat. You can't halfway cut somebody's throat. You cutting their throat. It's not like
okay, so who's on the top of the pecking order in the animal kingdom? Cutthroat animals or animals that try to get along with everybody?
I was watching this on Discovery Channel, and you can research this. Do you know what animal that is not a fucking carnivore that scares lions?
Hippos.
Elephants.
And giraffes.
Giraffes.
So even though the giraffes aren't at the top of the pecking order, a lion's not going to attack a giraffe. It'll attack.
Sharks are scared of dolphins.
Hold on. A pack of lions will. A pack will.
A pack of lions ain't going to attack a pack of giraffes.
Female lion.
Y'all missing what I'm saying. But yet the lion is still on top.
No.
I hear what you're saying about the top, but I feel like earlier you were saying something about there's different levels, how there's people who are okay with a 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
That is success. So the top, what is the top to you? Sometimes the top is being
Good
the
question.
manager of a restaurant.
Good
Sometimes it could just be the top for me is, oh man, I have a summer job. I'm 16 and I'm making some money and I can go take this girl out on dates. I'm on top.
Yeah.
That's all here. I don't think there is a cutthroat that you have to. I don't think you have to like.
But I think he was talking about industry in the beginning. You know,
Right.
like
I mean, maybe
which industry?
with the question. Let me clear it up a little bit.
oh,
I did give you two different ideas. I do want us to define success because I personally think the ultimate message should be don't let someone else define what makes you successful. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
However, now I'm also talking about in a practical sense. In applying our behavior to other human beings, do we have to be successful? I mean, mean to be successful. Now, that's different from saying there are successful people who are mean and they got there by being mean. I'm saying at this point right now, is it a necessity in industry to be mean in order to get ahead? Now, what I heard Corey say is once you get there, there's a certain level of bullshit you won't tolerate. And I always like to segue to Beyonce.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Listen, who's on top right now in industry? What country?
Depends on the industry, but it's probably China,
Right.
ain't it?
Technically,
probably China.
It's America.
it's still us.
Because
Right.
we sell the Chinese products. China would be nothing without us.
Let's not say nothing.
So if we're selling their products,
That's
And
That's
China
not saying
sells a lot of our
nothing.
we're
products.
in debt with China big time.
Right.
We'll talk about
So
that.
China. Hey, but our economy is better. That's why
It is better, but China's will overtake us in time.
in about right?
Give them some, because the thing is that
Right.
China has made a lot of growth in a very short amount of time,
Right.
whereas we have not.
China's
We've just been on top for a while.
China's been making some big mistakes lately.
No. Let me just give you some facts real quick. I'm not gonna fact, but I'm gonna just give
Let
you.
me finish my point before it's real quick.
Yeah, moderator, let him finish.
EJ, one more time. I'll mute your ass.
Ultimately, what I'm saying is the reason why we're in debt to China has nothing to do with the fact that we are leading the industry. What I'm ultimately saying is we didn't get there being nice.
No.
But I feel like the circumstances of how we got there no longer apply. Like the situations that we had to go through to get to be number one,
Harbor.
those things, like those instances, the Great Depression, the Industrial Revolution, all these things where we were always we were number one for so long. That's not the case. A lot of countries have caught up to us. A lot of countries are doing better than us. So
In some
way, so it's not, and those countries did not necessarily take the route that we took,
right?
Being mean or cutthroat to get there.
The question is, Alex, were they nice when they?
Yes, America.
Right.
America. What made America a superpower was World War II.
Cutthroat.
World War II.
Right.
We tried our best to stay out of that war. We tried our best. It was
Yeah, World War I,
it was Pearl Harbor. Once Pearl Harbor happened, we had to say something. If somebody come to your house and shoot you, and you don't do nothing, they're gonna rob your shit. They might rape you. Of course, you have to say
Do
something.
you know why the Japanese attacked Americans?
Because we wouldn't give them oil or something that they wanted for the war efforts, because we were trying to stay out of it. So being nice made us I guess you're fuck.
Like being nice made you a target,
Pretty much. I guess that's what Corey's trying to say.
or made you a victim.
Is that what you're trying? Because us being nice is what got us attacked.
You're talking about countries and war, and you're talking about going to work and being a nice person.
Yes. I get what he's saying. He's saying
The competition is kind of like war. You're going to work every day to be better, to do better, to make more.
But that doesn't mean you have to be mean.
No, absolutely not. You don't have to be. I don't think you have to be mean to be successful or to be number one or to be on top. I think that there's plenty of even if you just want to use countries, there's peace treaties, there's the UN. Those are all nice, quote unquote, compromises.
Look at Tom Hanks. He nice as shit.
Okay.
I also look at this. A lot of why America has some of the power and influence it has is because it's maintained good relationships with its allies.
No, it's because they are willing to rape, rob, and pillage.
Oh,
Yes. People are afraid of us more than anything.
I feel like people are more afraid of us than they are.
They're more afraid of us than
us.
Exactly.
Hey, when I did a cruise ship, people from other countries were like, I was surprised when I found out people from the other countries were like, we don't want Hillary to win. And I was like, you're not from America. Why do you think that? They're like, you don't know what she's done to our country. And I was like, oh.
Thank you.
Okay.
You know what? To be honest, as we talk about this, she's actually one of my number one examples of being like ruthless and cutthroat without. You kind of have no choice. She can't. She rose in political power at a time when that was not okay for women, and then more importantly, the men around her, I'm sure, were much more ruthless than she was, and then she had to prove herself to be just as ruthless in order to become the political figure that she is today. Everyone talks about how she changes her views and this and that. I'm like, but she's had to play the politics game in a much deeper way in order for her to be as successful as she has been throughout her entire career, especially her early career. Like it was, it's a woman in a man's world, in a very much man's world, especially when they are, these are men whose confidence level is much different from your everyday. These are people who make laws. These are people who whose corruption and things like runs deep, like things like that is, their arena is entirely different level than anything we experience on an everyday regular basis. And she's a woman, a minority in this playing field. Of course, she has to become this cutthroat person. She has to become hard. She has to become, one of the big things that I've heard about her sometimes, especially and sometimes from other women, is that she's not feminine enough and things like that. And I'm like, but she couldn't be. There's no way that she would be where she is today. There's no way she could run for president today.
Corey, that's an example
without having to do these things.
Yes,
no, I'm not laughing at him. I'm saying this: would you respect a rapper talking about how nice he is?
Yes.
Or
people like Chance the Rapper.
I'm talking holistically. Who do people respect?
Chance the Rapper, Andre 3000. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, but to be honest, but a lot of people aren't behind them. Jay-Z, when was the last time Jay-Z did anything? When's the last time Andre 3000 did anything? Last time
Jay-Z is cutthroat, y'all.
Right,
Jay-Z
but are they?
Jay-Z is cutthroat.
Jay-Z is cutthroat.
Does it have to be? Jay-Z could literally put out a single tomorrow with his wife about flowers and candy.
We're not talking about with his wife. We're talking about with him.
That's pretty much
Jay-Z is very cutthroat.
He is very cutthroat. Yes.
Together. Honestly, that's here.
Which is actually why Beyonce didn't work very well, because she's no walk in the park either.
Here's what I would like to ask. And yes, Jay-Z is very cutthroat. Julian, and going off of what you were saying about Hillary, do you think that same attitude flies today from what we've seen in politics? Like, we've seen people who are like AOC, who's very straightforward and like will get at you. But
I think that we expect different now. But that's what I'm saying. Hillary's just an older generation, though, is my point, though. That's what I'm where saying. She's coming from.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like you guys' answers are dated in the sense of like the world is the world is changing so much now.
The only thing is that who's in the Billionaire Boys Club, though? all these older people.
Yeah, all
so
these
that's why I'm saying that like it's a legacy.
Because they have wealth.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's changing, but my point is that that change is unfortunately much slower than we would like, because in order to gain access to that club, you have to be like them, and then you have to change it from the inside. But you still have to have been that cutthroat person. You still have to have been that person that maintains their status quo so that they can let you in on it. You know, there's few people who gain that one.
That lacks
wait.
cleverness.
I actually want to ask him a question based off of that. So you said in order to get in, you got to be mean, but then you can become nice.
When you've kind of established your foothold. Yeah.
That once that person has to put on that mean persona, that they won't be actually changed into a mean.
Well, not saying that you won't be. It's possible that you can be, but that's the risk of kind of trying to join that club, you know?
Ain't there a Melissa McCarthy movie about this?
Possibly.
Oh!